Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and I thought I'd make a video on E3, Bethesda press conference in particular. Now, why E3 at all if I don't have any new information? I wasn't there and there's already tons of mouthpieces on YouTube and forums dissecting and talking about all these things already. Well, no reason in particular really, I just really liked Bethesda showcase and I felt like I wanted to talk about it. Obviously, you don't have to watch it if you've already seen the live stream, especially. But being a fanboy that I am, I still would like to say some things. Now, this was Bethesda's only press conference throughout E3 outside of a short appearance on the Xbox show, which I gotta mention was absolutely cringeworthy. Maybe even more so than last year when all they talked about was really TV and second screen features. I mean, this was death. I watched it and I was almost like, oh Christ, that's bad. What were they thinking? This is all you guys have to show, and the crowd wasn't having none of it either. You could feel it when the speakers paused for applause. The audience, well, you could hear crickets chirping, For Forza 6, they lowered and then raised in a couple of minutes the AVO for GT into the audience. Good use of their money, definitely. The VR bit was cool, though. Gotta give them that. The Minecraft build that was kind of on a holographic screen that showed on the glasses. But I gotta say, EA's press conference was a million times more cringeworthy. The Need for Speed game looked interesting though, but I have to wonder how it will play, seeing as how the latest, Need for Speed games completely sucked. You remember Most Wanted and Hot Pursuit. The original was awesome and the remake was just terrible. I mean, you remember it, right? And the internet had their panties up in a bunch calling this Need for Speed Underground 3, but EA is saying it's got Underground's customization with Carbon's feel. So it might very well, be something else. I hate when they mix up the names for a marketing gimmick, making it so damn confusing. Why call it Doom? Why not call it Doom 4 or Need for Speed Underground 3? No, they call it Need for Speed and Doom. So you'd get confused by the names and, buy the new game thinking it was the old game. Plants vs. Zombies 2 was more or less the same thing as last year, and the audience wasn't having none of it. Pele came out as a cheap gimmick to promote FIFA 15, or is it 16 now? And, well, it's more or less the same thing, right, in a different box. And other EA Sports, like hockey and basketball, more of the same. Mirror's Edge was interesting but later when Peter Moore of EA came out and said Madden 16, yeah, and paused, you could almost hear an individual fart in the back of the audience. It was so quiet. I think it was on the Xbox show, but the point is, it wasn't all that great. But forget all that. In this video, I just wanted to mention Bethesda's show that they put on. Now, for me, I really liked every bit of that show. Unlike pretty much all the others, except, ironically, the Ubisoft show, I, for example, liked and am actually looking forward to Rainbow Six. And Aisha Tyler was a pretty nice touch for them. But Bethesda had their act together, and it seemed they hit all their targets pretty much dead on. And it didn't hurt that we were already hyped up to the gills for Fallout 4. But even before that, Doom was something that blew wind up my skirt, definitely. I mean, I've been a fan of Doom ever since 1994 when I first came to the USA and started playing Doom, you know, had a PC to play on. And granted, it isn't Kerbal Space Program, and nothing too cerebral. All you really do is kill monsters for fun. But man, all those memories and scare yourself shitless moments with imps jumping out of pitch black corners. I mean, this was pretty much what you'd expect here. Monsters, buckets of blood on every surface, a ton of weapons, non-stop killing. Back were the old favorites, the Cacodemons, the Revenants, Imps, the Mancubi. I suppose Mancubi, is that the plural of Mancubus? I think so. Even the Cyber Demon made an appearance, and things like the double jumps and weapon wheels are new to the game, but not groundbreaking, frankly. But pardon the pun, those finishing moves, oh my god. I mean, I was giddy as a schoolgirl each time he went into a melee kill, expecting a different finishing move. Some other things were there, like, the player ripped off a hand and from a dead scientist for a biometric scan, and the audience collectively winced. I mean, better than an eyeball, I suppose, like in Demolition Man. That's a classic movie from the 90s, by the way, you wouldn't know it, but I suggest you go watch it. It's a very good movie. The Super Shotgun is back, dealing out tons of damage. So are some favorites like the BFG and the Plasma Rifle and the Chain Gun. The regular shotgun felt like it had, at least to me, felt like it had different types of ammo by the looks of it. When the player kind of took the front part of the shotgun on and kind of snapped it back on, and I'm not sure if I'm right. It might be that I'm completely talking out of my ass here, but it felt to me like it was a different kind of ammo type that he could equip for that shotgun. And of course the chainsaw appeared, and I nearly swallowed my pants with happiness. It was perhaps the what we were all, waiting for to see from Doom, sawing monsters in half and getting, splattered with their entrails. Some environmental explosions were seen, and what I think is going to give these guys an edge is an in-box mod tool setup. What they called Snap Map is an in-game map editor with a custom everything like map creation, monster behavior, tools and environments on the map, and setting up game types and creating things for the game. I think it's gonna, help as far as the multiplayer and surprisingly even co-op goes. Doom, I think, never, distinguished itself as being too cerebral, as I said. So a single run through the game is gonna be all you need to get a real feel for it, considering you will probably replay a few times a couple of checkpoints, as they may be difficult. So, the variety of the custom levels and game modes is really something that the game can't do well without, as it's gonna keep players, coming back for months, if not years. Bethesda also showcased Dishonored 2, which I gotta say looked awesome, but for me being not that into it and never having played Dishonored 1, it was kind of hard to judge. But of course the piece de resistance was Fallout 4, the Fallout 4 presentation, and for that they rolled out Todd Howard, the director of video game design at Bethesda, and I gotta say, I mean, the dude really was on that day. He didn't speak robotically, he made a couple of jokes. Hell, he opened up with a porn joke. For a room full of neckbeards and cosplayers, that was pretty much the mothership. And of course he talked about Fallout 4, so he had us hooked from the beginning. I mean, we would have bought horse manure from him if it came from with a limited edition of Fallout 4. But there's just so many good little tidbits about the new Fallout. Critical Hit is now a bar that needs to be filled, and luck, helps you fill it faster. Well, obviously. Incidentally, check out the hand model on the player model as he switches through the Pip-Boy screens. Isn't that amazing? Well, there's also the map indicators for above and below players, so you wouldn't have to spend hours, wondering where the damned enemy is and why you can't find him, although you're right on him. Also, things like doghouse, sprinting, simple dialogue wheel, destructible environments, recycling and building, everything basically. Gun bench, gun customization, probably the reason it's not in Battlefield Hardline anymore, it crossed over to Bethesda. Simple character customization, mobile games on the Pip-Boy, radio stations, PC mods that will work on Xbox One, a goddamn Soviet submarine, ADSing weapons. There's a very good picture thread on Reddit that includes all these little tidbits like holding your breath to steady the scope, pistol whipping someone, the awesomeness of customizable power armor, a jetpack that sort of lets you fly a few meters, even with the heavy power armor on, a dog that will fetch stuff and obey orders, like, contextual orders that you give, like to attack or go there and stay. Also, weapon customization, as I said, the charge rifle, what seems to be the new rocket launcher, the USS Constitution with goddamn jet engines, also a mobile Pip-Boy app that you can use on your iPhone, which slides into a real Pip-Boy case, which of course comes with the limited edition of the game. But although this looks intensely fun, two things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, it seems to be the box seems to be catered just for the iPhone, the size of it, as the holder, unless you make like a custom holder for an Android or something like that. And another thing that when I looked at the actual Pip-Boy in their press conference, it looked so big and bulky and possibly heavy that it kind of I would just see a lot of problems wearing that thing and playing with it, even so. Not sure how that will go, but still the hype is real. Also, a free mobile game that is unrelated and is a standalone that's called the Fallout Shelter, coming to iDevices, while us Android users get shafted, at least for a while. So, Bethesda clearly licking the ass of Apple right now. Not sure why, probably because they agreed to, mention Apple in their, press conference so they could build this game. Apple said, that's alright, build this game for free. Also, I kind of hate that the new apps come out only for the iOS 7, as with my first generation iPad I can't play anything. And I mean, the game looks fun and being free doesn't hurt either, but the iOS 7 limitation, which is the reason I, couldn't play the Battlefield 4 Commander app on my iPad in the shitter either. Concept art they showed was also pretty cool, and having the Fallout 3 hardcover book game guides, I really appreciate some of this artwork. It's just jam-packed with these, drawings that look pretty awesome up close. And so, all aboard the hype train, and thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one, and remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.